Third Canto, Chapter 6, Creation of the Universal Form, Text 3. Sa anupraviṣṭaḥ sunupraviṣṭo bhagavāṁś ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam nupraviṣṭo bhagavān ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam bhinnaṁ saṁyojayām asa bhinnam saṁyojayām suptam karma prabodhayan suptam prabodhayan nupraviṣṭo bhagavān ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam bhinnam saṁyojayām suptam karma prabodhayan nupraviṣṭo bhagavān ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam bhinnam saṁyojayām suptam karma prabodhayan nupraviṣṭo bhagavān ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam bhinnam saṁyojayām suptam karma prabodhayan
suptam karma prabodhayan
bhinnaṁ saṁyojayāmāsa, suptam karma prabodhayan. Sa, that, anupraviṣṭo, thus entering later on, bhagavān, the personality of Godhead, ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa, by his representation of attributes, Kālī, come, them, gaṇam, all the living entities, including the demigods, bhinnaṁ, separately, saṁyojayām, engaged to work, suptam, sleeping, karma, work, prabodhayan, enlightening. Translation by the Divine Grace, Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements of his energy, and entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened into different activities, just as one is engaged in his work after awakening from sleep. Please repeat after me. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened into different activities. Just as one is engaged in his work, after awakening from sleep. Purport by Srimad Bhagavatam. Every individual soul remains unconscious after the dissolution of the creation and thus enters into the law with his material energy. These individual living entities are conditioned souls everlastingly. But in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. They are all given a chance to take advantage of the Vedic wisdom and find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. By properly studying the Vedas, one becomes conscious of his position and thus takes to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and is gradually promoted to the spiritual sky. The individual souls in the material world engage in different activities according to their past unfinished desires. After the dissolution of a particular body, the individual soul forgets everything, but the all-merciful Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, the super soul, awakens him and reminds him of his past desires, and thus he begins to act accordingly in his next life. This unseen guidance is described as fate, and a sensible man can understand that this continues his material bondage in the three modes of nature. The unconscious sleeping stage of the living entity, just after the partial or total dissolution of the creation, is wrongly accepted as the final stage of life by some less intelligent philosophers. After the dissolution of the partial material body, a living entity remains unconscious for only a few months, and after the total dissolution of the material creation, he remains unconscious for many millions of years. But when the creation is again revived, he is awakened by his work. The living entity is eternal, and the wakeful state of his consciousness, manifested by activities, is his natural condition of life. He cannot stop acting while awake, and thus he acts according to his diverse desires. When his desires are trained in the transcendental service of the Lord, his life becomes perfect and he is promoted to the spiritual sky to enjoy eternal happiness. So nupraviṣṭo bhagavāṁś ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa gaṇam bhinnam saṁyojayām suptam prabodhayan. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened with different activities, just as one is engaged in work after awakening from sleep. Hare Krishna, when you come here, yes, ma'am. Welcome to you. We came alone? Wait, Hare Krishna. So scientifically, the process of creation is being explained. We have been studying this chapter and the previous chapters. And does it sound scientific? Does it make sense? Does it make it clear what the process of creation is? Like whenever I read this chapter and I consider the theories of those scientists, I feel so, in one hand I see how crazy their concept is and how sane this concept is, how meaningful this concept is. So, does everybody remember how the creation began and how gradually it is developing? How many of you remember? So, what is the first aspect of creation? The glancing. And then, consequent action is?
Shambhu and
false equilibrium. The glancing is not sure.
Yeah. Now, what is the next step? Champagne. Next is Mahatattva. Very good. And then, Navadaya. Mahatattva.
Intellectual Mahatattva with mode of goodness, mind and
Was it Mahatattva?
False.
This is a very thin difference. Okay, very good. Yeah. And then what happens? Yes, Ansu?
Mind and demigod
Are created from
false ego and
mode of goodness. And now, when what did the demigod do? Demigods do? Yes, Radha.
they did prayers to the Supreme Personality of God.
They offer the prayers to the Supreme Personality. And what was the meaning, what was the basic purpose of their prayer? They were praying.
they want to achieve potency to work.
Very good. Very good. Because they felt that they can't, they realized that they have some purpose, they have some objective, but they can't fulfill the objective. So they prayed. Please give us the energy, give us the ability, give us the potency, so that we can work. And then what happened? No, that prayer stage we have passed. Then after that what? After that, it begins this chapter. And today we are discussing only the third verse of this chapter. So, what happened? Then after that, what happened? Who remembers? Okay,
The Lord entered in all the 23.
Yes. In what form? Yeah. Okay. What is the female aspect of time? Okay. And then what did she do? Then what happened?
Today's verse.
Huh?
Today's verse.
No, there was something. What, as Kālī, what did she do? All these elements were combined. Because they were separate. And that combined, who is Kālī actually? Kālī is Mother Nature. A destructive aspect is Kālī. But she has many other aspects. Like Durga, Annapurna, Jagadhara. So she has, Maya has many aspects. So that aspect, yeah, that whatever Kālī is external energy who alone amalgamates all the different elements. All the 23 different elements were amalgamated by material nature. What is the meaning of this amalgamation? Amalgamation? Yes?
Combined in a particular fashion.
Combined in a particular fashion. Right. And what is that fashion, particular fashion?
That is to produce the living entities and
The material manifestation. Like we see, like different elements are there, but what does the living entity do? What does the living force do with those elements? The creation. Say for example, there are bricks, there are cement, there is steel, there is sand, and then men build a house with them. The bricks and cement and all these, they cannot create, they build a house. They cannot just by themselves become a house. So to build a house, we need the human effort, living effort, the effort of the living entity, conscious effort. So that is how the material nature with the modes of three modes amalgamates everything to create this, to manifest this creation. And then today's verse. Nupraviṣṭo bhagavān ceṣṭā-rūpeṇa tam gaṇam bhinnaṁ saṁyojayām suptam prabodhayan. Where was the living entity? Where were the living entities all this while? Living entities were suptam. The living entities were in the body. They were in what kind of state? Suptam. They were sleeping. But ceṣṭā, saṁyojayām, they were ceṣṭā, saṁyojayām, bhinnam, saṁyojayām, suptam prabodhayan. They were enlightened or enlivened to do their activities according to their intent. They woke up, and prabodhayan in the purport is explaining that how the living entities become activated in the material nature. Like, so here Prabhupada is also pointing out that some people think that just going back to the God, the Lord, is the ultimate goal of life. But is just going back the ultimate goal of life? What if we go back to the Lord and fall asleep? So that's what happens. Like after annihilation, yes, we'll go back. We'll go back, but we'll be sleeping. So does it matter when you're sleeping, whether you're in a palace or in a forest? Does it make any difference? Only when you wake up, it makes a difference. When you wake up in a palace, in a very beautiful bed, you feel, oh, wonderful, right? But when you wake up in the middle of a forest, then you think, oh, where am I? If a tiger comes, then what do you do? Right? So when we are asleep, then our condition, in whichever condition we may be in, doesn't make any difference. The difference makes when we wake up. So our wakeful state is the real state of existence. Meaning our conscious state is the real state. Unconscious state of existence. And then our consciousness can be in two different ways. One can be conscious about our own desire, and the other is conscious about Krishna's desire. When we are concerned only about our desire, that is material. But when we are conscious about Krishna's desire, then we are in spiritual existence. And that is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means what? Krishna consciousness means to be aware of Krishna's desire. What Krishna wants. And Maya means materialistic existence means conscious about our desire. So Prabhupada is pointing out that every individual soul remains unconscious after the dissolution of the creation and thus enters into the law which is material energy. So the material energy also enters into the body and the living entity is also moving. So here we can see three kinds of sleep, three states of unconsciousness. One state is the sleep when we fall asleep. That is a state of unconsciousness. Then the other one is when we die. That is another state of unconsciousness. And then at the time of annihilation, we go back to the superpersonality of Godhead. That is the third kind of sleep. That's why we can also consider that after all, death or annihilation is not so bad. Like, don't we like to sleep? At least I do. Don't you like to sleep? It's wonderful to fall asleep. And then after sleep, when we wake up, we feel energetic. So similarly, death is a kind of a sleep. So if you don't mind falling asleep, why should you be afraid of falling asleep after death? What is the difference? What is the difference between sleep and death? Many times I mentioned that. Who remembers? Okay,
Sleep. That means it takes long time.
Yes, for sure.
In that we wake up in a new body. In the sleep we wake up in the same body.
Yes, that's the difference. When you fall asleep, we wake up in the same body. But in death, we wake up in another body. And after annihilation, then what happens? We wake up in another creation. In another creation altogether. So it is due to our ignorance that you become afraid of things. Especially those who are involved in Krishna consciousness. Those who have become aware of their spiritual identity. Those who have become aware of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not be afraid of God. Because we know that, well, the Lord will place me, Lord will give me another opportunity to serve. And that is the only prayer of the Lord. Please allow me to serve you life after life. Mama janmani janmeshwari bhavatad bhakti. Allow me to serve you life. Not only in this life, and then after this life, let me become liberated. What's the point of liberation? What's the point in liberation if we are not engaged in the service of God? And what is the need of liberation if we are engaged in the service? If we are engaged in the service of the Lord, then what's the point in being liberated? Because when you are engaged in the service of the Lord, then what happens? We are situated in a perfect situation, in a perfect and most desirable situation when you are engaged in the service of the Lord. When you are engaged in the service of the Lord, then what happens? You want something, some other situation. When you are in a perfect situation, do you want some other situation? Nitai Chandra? When you are in a perfect situation, do you desire for another situation? So, Krishna consciousness is the perfect situation. Another question is, do you feel perfectly situated now? Now that you are here in the temple, serving the Lord, do you feel it is a perfect situation or do you want some other situation? Did you understand my question?
Yes.
What about others? Trivikram? How do you feel? Ethanai, like it. Not here, not here. That's the materialistic way of it. I'm not happy here, I want to do something. Yeah, when the mind is like that, then you have to understand that we are not perfect situation. Because we are thinking that some other situation will be better. Sometimes I wonder, do you all understand what I'm saying? Yeah. When I ask questions, do you understand what I'm asking? Then the question comes, with the class that I'm giving, are you understanding what I'm saying? Yeah. So, Radha Govinda, you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, did you understand what I asked you? And what will be your answer?
When I'm feeling actually, there is no need to go any other place.
Sure.
If mind is not disturbed.
That is the sign of our pure intention service. When you are engaged, you are completely satisfied. But when the mind is desiring something else, then we have to understand that something is wrong with this service. Of course, it's also understandable that in material nature, when we are engaged in devotional service, often it is not going to be perfect or pure devotion. In most cases, because we tend to think when, as Radha Govinda mentioned, when the mind is disturbed, when Sadhan Siddhi says something to Radha Govinda, and he thinks, I don't want to see Sadhan Siddhi's face anymore. Let me go somewhere else. Mayapur is so much better. Of course, Mayapur is always so much better. Mayapur is our ultimate destination. Mayapur is But then when you properly engage in a service, then you automatically become content. This contentment is there. And you have seen, like some devotees they left. This place is not good. Let me go somewhere. But then they come back. No, now I see after going to different places, I found that this is better. So let me stay here. But then after some time, they again go. But what to do? So we have to understand that is a sign of Chanchala Himanta Krishna, fickle mind. It's good that Radha Govinda detected the problem. The mind is the problem. So what to do with the mind? The best thing to do is beat the mind with a shoe 100 times. And beat it again 100 times the broom at night. Anyway, that is our condition in this material nature. But the question is, should we remain in that condition or should we change our condition? Should we remain in that condition? No. We have to change that condition. And Prabhupada is saying that this material creation is in order to give the living entities a chance to rectify his consciousness, become Krishna conscious, and become perfectly situated in the spiritual life. That is the real goal. And that is the real purpose of this material creation. Everything that is happening here is for that. The Lord's pieces of life, they are, with time, they are gradually brought to the human platform. And when they are in a human platform, they are getting a chance to utilize their free will to become Krishna conscious. But if they waste the opportunity, go back to the circle again. And then again, after so many millions of lifetimes, get again another chance to get a human body and become Krishna conscious. Lose that opportunity, go back again into the circle. When we were young, we used to play one game called Snakes and Ladders. Called Snakes and Ladders or Ladders and Snakes?
Snakes and ladders.
Ladders. তোমরা সকলে খেলেছো? You come to the mouth of a snake, all the way down. And if you come to the ladder, then you get promoted. So here, what is the snake? To remain in material consciousness. And ladder is Krishna consciousness. So let us take advantage of this ladder. Let us become promoted. Let's become elevated to the spiritual plane. So then our life will be, our purpose of getting this human form of life will be fulfilled. সকলে বুঝতে পেরেছ কি বলা হচ্ছে? কে কে বুঝতে পারেনি? আচ্ছা, লজ্জা পাওয়ার কিছু নেই, যারা বুঝতে পারে না। কি ওদেরকে বোঝাবে? নারায়ণ, তুমি ওদের বোঝাবে? বলো কি বুঝবে? এই ক্লাসে কি আলোচনা হবে? বাংলা জাস্ট সময়
আমরা যে ঘুমের 3টা স্তর আছে, ঘুমের 3 প্রকার স্তর। যখন আমরা ঘুমাই সেটা একটা, মৃত্যু তার চেয়ে গভীর ঘুম, আর যখন ভগবানের শরীরে প্রবেশ করে, যখন প্রলয় হয়, সেটা সবচেয়ে বড় ঘুম। এই 3টার পার্থক্য হচ্ছে এরকম, যখন এমনি ঘুমাই আমরা তখন ওই শরীরে জেগে উঠি, কিন্তু যখন মৃত্যু হয় তখন অন্য শরীরে জেগে উঠি, এবং যখন প্রলয়ের পর যখন অন্য একটা জগতে বা অন্য প্রজাতি অন্য জায়গায় সৃষ্টিতে জেগে উঠি। এখন আমরা যে মৃত্যু হয়
এই জগতের উদ্দেশ্যে ভগবান কেন জগৎ সৃষ্টি করেন? এই জগতের সৃষ্টি ভগবান কেন করেছেন?
আমাদের বদ্ধজীবী বাসনা পূর্ণ করা,
তাই কি?
সংশোধন করা।
ভগবান এই জগতের মাধ্যমে জীবকে সুযোগ দিচ্ছেন ভগবান বদ্ধ অবস্থা থেকে মুক্ত।
মৃত্যুর ভয়টা আসছে আমাদের অজ্ঞতা থেকে, অজ্ঞতার জন্য আমরা মরতে ভয় পাই। এবং এই যে আমরা ভগবানের যে সেবাটা করছি, এটাতে আমাদের সন্তুষ্ট থাকা উচিত। যদি আমরা এই সেবার আনন্দ না পাই, তখন আমরা মনে করবো যে না, অন্য কানে গেলে বোধহয় ভালো। তো এই স্বাভাবিক মনের চঞ্চলতার কারণে, যেটা বদ্ধজীবের, এক জায়গায় কখনো সন্তুষ্ট থাকে না। যখন ভগবত সেবা আনন্দ পাওয়া যায়, তখন এক জায়গায় আমরা থাকি। এই যে এক জায়গায় সন্তুষ্ট না থাকা, এটা হচ্ছে রাধা গোবিন্দ পূজা মনের চঞ্চলতার জন্য হয়। তো আমাদের মনকে যদি আমরা নিয়ন্ত্রণ করতে পারি, তাহলে আমরা ভগবানের সেবায় আনন্দ পাবো।
এখন বোঝা গেল? এখন তো কি করবে? সেবার আনন্দ থাকতে হবে। সেবার আনন্দ পাচ্ছেন? হ্যাঁ, সেবার আনন্দ পাচ্ছেন তোমরা? সেবা করে আনন্দ পাচ্ছেন? ভালো লাগছে? হ্যাঁ, নাকি অন্য কোথাও যাওয়া হচ্ছে? রবীন্দ্রনাথের কবিতা আছে বলাকা, বলছে হেথা নয় অন্য কোথাও অন্য কোনো কারণে। বলাকা মানে পাখি, অন্য মধ্যে গেলে মানে পাখির মধ্যে সারাক্ষণ উঠতেছে, এখানে নয় ওখানে যাবো, অন্য কোথাও, এখানে এই জায়গাটা ভালো, তারপরে অন্য জায়গাটা ভালো, সেখানে যখন যাচ্ছি তখন মনে হচ্ছে এই জায়গাটা ভালো, অন্য কোথাও। এইভাবে আমরা
নদীতে কারখানা চালিয়ে নিঃশ্বাস,
ওপারেতে
নিঃশ্বাস, নদীর পাড়ে দীর্ঘশ্বাস ছাড়ে, যাহা কিছু ছিল সকলেই পায়।
সুতরাং আমাদের কি করতে হবে? এই যে সুযোগটা আমরা পেয়েছি, মনুষ্য জন্মটা পেয়েছি, তার পূর্ণ वैभव बांग्ला आता है?
ये तो बंगला बनाता है, ये तो कंस्ट्रक्शन में बंगला बनाता है।
Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanandi. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Krishna.
Guru, I have 3 questions.
Only?
C4. First is that you have mentioned that previous verse, Kālī alone amalgamates the material elements. But actually, Kālī is the material energy, whereas we always say that matter cannot be active by itself. It is the living entity which amalgamates the matter.
Is Kālī a living entity? A living personality? Prakriti also not. Devi, Shaguni, you can see Durga is the personality, Kālī is the personality, Prakriti is the personality.
But then matter is inert, so
Matter is inert, but Prakriti is conscious. She, as it has been pointed out, what does she? Elements are there. Just as she has trigonometry, she has three modes. Right? She has her potency, but she becomes activated also only when the Lord is at her. Otherwise, she is also sleeping. Only when the Lord glance, she also is. Otherwise, she is object, meaning she was asleep. But when the Lord glances, then she wakes. She becomes agitated. Agitated means she becomes activated. And then she begins her business. She gathers all the elements and builds up the creed, manifested. So that's how it will
and here it is said that the living entities were in a supta stage who at this point of time start to manifest themselves. But the living entities were impregnated into Maya long before, even before, at the stage of Mahatma itself, which took a long time to evolve into all these elements.
Okay, fine. Even then, the living entity may be in the womb of the mother, but is the living entity having active consciousness? So the living, even then, the living entity is in the dormant state. The living entity may have come to the material, but until then, the living entity didn't become active.
And could you please explain the Bhagavad verse that has been just discussed in some poem?
Okay. This is from Tagore also. Nodi epar kahe chhariya nishaj, sighing a deep breath. This bank of the river is saying that, alas, all the happiness in this world is on the other side. But the other side of the river is saying, alas, all the enjoyment is there on the other side of the river. So that is the material. In simple words, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. It seems that the owner of this part of the land, our grass is so much greener on the other side. And the other guy is saying, grass is so much greener on this side. So the point is, in the material nature we never contain dreams. Everything is always there. The real stuff is on the other side. Okay. Yes.
So in yesterday's question, there was a perfect question, perfect answer yesterday. Yesterday, somebody asked that you told in answer of one question that either you have to be in materialistic platform or in the spiritual place. But those, I mean to say, do you want to say that there is no room for mixed devotee in this one?
There is no
mixed type of devotee.
No, I couldn't get. What is the question?
We asked some South African devotee, I think Harichandra Prabhuji, for that somebody is doing demigods worship or so on. They are desiring for the materialistic desire. They are fully as well as they are being in ISKCON, so they want to be in ISKCON.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, so what?
So I want to know that those who are just sharing the ISKCON, and they are converting slowly. So what is your guidance for them?
Well, if they gradually accept Krishna consciousness, that's all right. But his question was different. He said that some people are challenging, like why you are always saying that worship Krishna? Why not the demigods? Why not our forefathers? Therefore, my answer was that, fine, if you want to remain in your forefather worship and demigod worship, then ISKCON is not the place for you. To come to ISKCON, you have to give up that. Now, your point is also okay, like you may say, what if they gradually change? Yes, if they're gradually accepting the importance of Krishna, worship of Krishna, surrendering to Krishna, then it's okay. But then don't challenge like that. Why you have to worship? Fine, if you don't want to worship Krishna, fine. Do whatever you do. Why even demigods? You can even worship your dogs. Most of the people today are worshipping their dogs. Isn't they? No, सुबह को लेके चलते हैं. अपने मॉर्निंग वॉक के लिए, कुत्ता के मॉर्निंग वॉक के लिए. So they have become servants of dogs. So who can help them? We are not going to them and tell them, why are you worshipping your dog? Why not? Come and worship Krishna. But they won't listen. Yes.
Maharaj, what is the basic purpose of creation of this world?
What is the basic purpose of?
Creation.
Basic purpose of creation? We discussed. To give a conditioned soul a chance to become God. Yes, I'm sorry.
First question from Ramanandana. Was the creation first interrupted because the demigods were lacking in Krishna consciousness?
It was not interrupted. Like they became aware. You see, like there are different stages, but that doesn't mean that there is an interruption. Like it's all happening. Because in Lord's arrangement, actually in His arrangement there is no interruption. But according to our perception, it may appear to be interruption. Maybe billions of years went by. Now the demigods are thinking about it. Right? But by His arrangement, according to His perspective, it is. Alright, Ramananda?
Second question from Kalī Vatani. First, he wants to pay around obeisances to you. After the living entities enter into the Lord's after annihilation and when the creation is revived, does the karma and the desires of the living entities from the previous creation were also revived?
Well, as it has been pointed out by Srila Prabhupada in the purport, the Krishna actually awakens the living entity and motivates the living entity according to his past karma, according to his past desires. You see, karma leads him to different mentality, different attitude, different desires. So according to the living entities awakened and engaged and activated. So here we have to, so the point again is that the karma remains. Even after the annihilation, karma remains. The karma will go only when a living entity surrenders into Krishna. Otherwise, life after life, creation after creation, the conditioned soul's karma will go with him. So that is how rigid the karmic principle is, karmic bondage is. Otherwise, how will the living entity become activated in the next life, in the next creation? It is according to his past life's creation, past life's attitude or karma that he will be motivated in his next life. Otherwise, we have to consider that after every annihilation, all the karmas are wiped out and the living entity is starting with a fresh karma. No, it doesn't happen. The karmic reaction, karmic cycle will stop or be altered only when a living entity becomes Krishna conscious, meaning when a living entity surrenders to Krishna. Then, sarva pape moksha, all karma is burned out. So that is Krishna's mercy.
Last question. Jayesh Prabhu from Kolkata. When devotee serves the Lord, remaining in the temple, he becomes joyful. But when some other devotees conflict with him without any cause, how that devotee will take that incidence? Naturally, he becomes morose. How to overcome this situation for us?
You can overcome the situation only by being Krishna conscious. Dukkhecha anupraviṣṭaḥ, shukecha vigatasya. Dukkhecha anupraviṣṭaḥ, in distress he is unperturbed, and in happiness he is detached. So that is the devotee. Because he accepts everything as Krishna's mercy, Krishna's arrangement. Only the bad things are due to my karma, and all the good things are Krishna's arrangement. So that is how we have to become. We have to transcend, as Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Tāṁ sthitikshaśya. Tolerate. There will be difficult. There will be distress. Yes, even as a brahmachari living in a temple, we'll have difficulty. We'll fight with other devotees. And when you fight with the other devotees, then you think, Krishna consciousness is not right. Or this temple is not where I want to be. Some other place is better. Right? But that is a materialistic way of looking at it. Best is to tolerate. Then Krishna will give us. Krishna will create the environment for us. Otherwise, what happens? Like if we become perturbed by, distressful condition, then when you go back to the spiritual sky and face that distressful condition, then we'll say, the spiritual sky is not good. Let me go back to the material nature. Right? Therefore, we have to learn to enjoy every single moment of our life. Every single moment of our life, every single moment of our existence is so important. Even if we are being crucified, oh, it's so wonderful to be crucified. Right? That is the attitude of it. Like every situation that we are in is so.
One supplementary question from Aishwarya Radhika Mataji. Is there also distressful condition in the spiritual state?
It can be. It can be. Like Krishna sometimes fights with his friend also. Or Krishna's friends fight with him. I mean, distressful is the internal condition. We may think, oh, it is so. Why did Krishna insult me? Right? Like sometimes Krishna insults his friend. His friend tells something insulting to Krishna, and Krishna talks back. You fat, thick-headed Brahmin. Like Madhu Mangal is very fat. And Madhu Mangal also fights with Krishna. Krishna, you are so puffed up. Don't know that I am a Brahmin and you are a low blood Vaishnava. And you don't offer obeisances to me. What's happening to you? And Krishna then says, you think your birth is so big. But birth is not important. It's the activity that is important. Birth is not important. Look at my activity. What did I do? What did you do? I lifted Govardhan. Oh, you think you lifted Govardhan? Like everybody was propping up. Everybody saw how Govardhan was shaking on her hand. So everybody then gave us support. And you want to take the credit. Yes. Happened. But is it distressful or joyful? When this kind of things happen, why? Because we are... Now, in our day-to-day life, if somebody said, "You fat-headed Brahmin," what do you do? So it's a matter of consciousness, it's a matter of attitude. If we love that person, if he says fat-headed Brahmin, then we become excited. We feel happy. Oh, he called me fat-headed. But then it is wrong. Who do you think you are? You skinny little Vaishya. What do you think you are? So these are like an exchange. When it's a loving exchange, then it's joyful. But when it is done with resentment, then
those who worship forefathers Pitar, and if their forefather has got another body, which is natural, and what is the purpose of their worshipping their forefather Pitar? And Krishna says that those who worship the forefathers go to the forefather planet without it.
yeah, there is a perfected forefather.
Perfected forefathers.
They are perfected forefather. Like for example, who are our forefathers? Ultimately, who are our forefathers? Like our Gotra, from whom it started, they are our original. Kashyapa Muni, then Bhigu Muni. They are different Gotra, and they are the forefathers, and they are the planet. And we are actually connected to them in some way. That's why it is so important to have a male child, because that actually maintains the family line. According to the Vedic understanding, that's why there is so particular about having a son. Because if you don't have a son, then the link will be broken. Because the son actually establishes the link. And then the forefathers need tarpana, oblation. And if there is nobody to offer the oblation, then there is. So there is, a region of perfected forefathers. Just as demigods need yajna, the forefathers need tarpana.
Then they go to their forefather planet if they are worshipping them properly.
Yeah, if they are worshipping them properly.
It's just like a material planet.
Yeah. It's another higher planet. Higher planet system.
You mentioned that how we should enjoy every moment of our existence, our life. So the question is, if sometimes we don't understand things like, why I am doing what I am doing. Sometimes I don't understand in other words, the ultimate objective I am going to exhibit in a particular service, etc. So in that situation, how can I maintain the enthusiasm to do that?
Go to gaṇam and reveal your heart and ask him to enlighten you. That's just saying. And like, reveal your mind to the devotee, pray to Krishna. Be in a situation that you will be joyful. Don't keep your distresses within yourself, because then it won't be resolved. The best is to seek advice from others and guidance. If you can't rectify the situation, then ask for others' help. Or if somebody is causing you the distress, go to them and say, "This is what is happening. I feel bad." And then what will the other devotees say? Will you say you deserve to be feeling bad? Or will you say, "I'm so sorry"? That's why it's always good to have an open and frank and open relationship, especially those who are around you. Nitai Chandra?
You mentioned about the perfect situation. Sometimes, especially when we are out of association, the material energy is strong, so that is one matter of concern.
Yeah. So that's why it's preferable that always have some devotee association. Not to be alone. A devotee hates to be alone. But if you're in devotee association, then you're safe. As you're saying, material condition is so difficult and distressful. But if you're in association with devotees, then it's not comfortable. So make it a point to be in association with devotees. Now that reminds me, now that you're spending so much time preaching to the youth in Indore, have some devotee with you. If you also ask, Gaṇam, make it a point to have somebody go with you. You thought of something. That him, you also wanted devotion. It seems that everybody wants devotion. Now there will be Charu between Nitai Chandra and Bhagavān. Good, yeah. So have some devotees and increase number. And that's how it will expand.
A question from Carol Mataji, USA, Texas.
What's the name?
Carol. C-A-R-O-L. Carol.
Okay.
Are there ways of behavior in the material world which we should be displeased? Example, offensive behaviors. How we should feel about these behaviors?
What kind of behavior?
Offensive behaviors. How we should feel about these behaviors?
Offensive behavior. Don't try not to get offended. Or if it is offensive, then avoid that situation. If someone is being offensive, if someone is being difficult, if someone is being insulting or hurting, if you can't, first, best thing is try to tolerate and carry on with this. But if you can't tolerate, if it becomes so intolerable, then avoid that situation. Find a situation where you know gracefully. Try to avoid fights. Don't fight. Avoid fight. So either through tolerance, by tolerating, or by avoiding. These are the two best ways. Yes.
I have 3 questions.
3 questions. Okay. You have 5 minutes.
Good night. My first question is, as we see some devotees, they accept Krishna consciousness, they take initiation, but still they follow their rituals. They don't want to leave it. It's like they understand the philosophy that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still they continue with their rituals.
Sometimes for householders it becomes difficult, even though they take initiation. Because of their surroundings, because of the household situation, it may be difficult to completely give up. But gradually they will give up if they practice the process. And they'll gradually give up. And the devotees who are guiding them, those who are preaching to them, should be sensitive. And wait for the right time.
My second question is, as you told Radhacharan Prabhu about that for Tarpan you need a son, you need a male child. So in our society we see that everyone is not devotee, but they have this concept, and so much innocent killing is happening because of this. Like they kill their girls because they want child and they can't take care of so many children, they want male child. So how to, because in this sense this our scriptures are becoming what to say, it's like it's they are becoming the cause, misleading.
Scriptures are misleading.
So much.
Well, ultimately you see that the scriptures are misleading because there is no one giving the right understanding of the scriptures. If you get the right understanding from the scriptures, then you won't act like that. Right? And those people won't act like that. If they have the right understanding of the scriptures, then they'll understand to become Krishna conscious is the most important thing. And when you become Krishna conscious, then it doesn't matter. Like, because anybody, male child, female child, everybody can become Krishna. So this is an opportunity that one is getting. The human form of body is the most precious, most wonderful gift of nature. So why waste it? And as I mentioned the other day, in Krishna consciousness, it's better to get a woman's body. You know why? Because women by nature are soft. And to be Krishna conscious, one has to be soft-hearted. Now, softer the heart, better will be the reception of Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, my third question. It may be it looks like a little stupid, but I want to ask, you told there are 3 types of sleep. One, the ultimate when we go back to spiritual sky. But sometimes I feel I
then you are not sleeping. Then you are awake. Then you are absolutely awake. Right? Going back to spiritual sky, there is no more sleep.
And one more question. Guru Maharaj, as you told now that it's better to open the devotees when you feel hurting. It's better either you avoid or you go to the devotees and tell. But sometimes we feel like if we will tell them, we will hurt them. But if we continue keeping like this, then we ultimately become totally intolerant.
What further I could get that? If you don't respond or if you don't correct,
then ultimately we feel too much hurted that we are unable to tolerate it. So
don't do it artificially. Don't do it artificially. Like if you can't tolerate, then as I said, avoid the situation. Or if you can't avoid the situation, then report to the higher authority to rectify the situation. Or they will, with the hope to rectify the situation. The higher authority will sort it out. There is always a solution. The first solution is to tolerate. Right? Second solution is to avoid. And third solution is complain. Complain means report to the higher. See, this kind of situations will always be there. Like, in the material nature, we'll never get a perfect situation. There will be difficulties. But we have to see how to avoid difficulties, not increase the difficulties. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande.